All right, y'all got anything else on that before we move on to the next thing?
We can move on. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it rocking. Good conversation.
It's a bet. It's a bet. So, share my screen. This is just something that happened to come up in a conversation that I was having earlier this week. So, let's see. This isn't necessary. Can y'all see that? Chicago Democrats issue.
Yeah.
Chicago Democrats issue warnings about their mayor. Oh shoot, this is not what I meant to talk about. God dang it. Let's spend 10 minutes on this and we move on to the next thing. Chicago Democrats issue warnings about their mayor amid Zohran Mamdani's rise. So, generally speaking, this isn't necessarily about Brandon Johnson. This is more so about Zohran Mamdani.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the guy from New
He's
York?
the nominee for the New York mayor, right?
So he won the Democratic nomination.
Okay, for New York, right?
Yeah, for New York. Yeah.
Okay, bet.
So my question to you guys about that is, because I can, oh my God, I can go 50 different angles with this. Okay. People say that Zohran Mamdani is a socialist. Generally speaking, socialist meaning if I rise to make $100 million a year, I should be willing to give a portion of my $100 million a year to the people who didn't do much of anything. To people who didn't do much of anything should be a beneficiary of what it is that I work for. Do you guys have any thoughts about socialism, one, and then two, socialism in general?
I'll go first because mine's going to be brief because, I don't do too much of that. I just go by when it comes to politics, common sense. If you make it sense to me and you're for the American people, I'm all for that. Common sense to me is if, I could be charitable, but you're not going to tell me, if socialist is what you're talking about, the way you just put it, I'm going by exactly what you just said. If I make money, you're not going to tell me how much money I'm going to give somebody else. I'm going to give what I want to give. You're not going to sit up here and tell me I got to do this. Now, I pay taxes. I'm going to do all that. But my charity contributions and all that stuff is going to go based on what I want to give. You feel me? So you're not going to just tell me what to give and all that. Now, when you come in the sense of that, when you're telling somebody, oh, you made $100 million, you only need 10, you can get a rest 90 million. No, that's not how this works. I worked hard for that. You ain't going to tell me what I'm going to give nobody. No, we're not doing that.
Right.
Now, if you want to go that, no, I'm not doing that. So I don't really know about when they go to politics like that, when they go to socialist, communist, all this other stuff. I be having to really look up definitions to see what they're really talking about and how they mean it, and really just sit there and just listen to see if I can catch on to what they're talking about and how they're trying to go. This up you and be humble, Ali. Y'all finna start arguing, and I'm finna just sit back here, mute my mic, and laugh. You feel me? Because I don't know really. That's not really my forte. But that's all I got to say like that. You're not finna tell me if I made $100 million, I'm finna give 90 of it away and I only can need 10 because I only need 10 to live. No, nigga, that's what I want. That's what I made. That's what I work hard for. So you're not going to tell me that. So that's just what I have on that. Change your mic. Do your mic. Yeah, we're going to have to get your mic fixed. We're going to keep doing this shit, boy.
All right, so I just want to say.
You hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, be humble before you respond. Do you agree with what my assessment on socialism is? Because I think socialism is one person works to get to the point where they have a whole lot of money, and other people who didn't work as hard as person number one be beneficiaries of it. Do you agree with my assessment on it, or am I mistaken?
It looks like you're in the ballpark. You're in the ballpark. I'm looking at the definition now. You're in the ballpark.
You know what? You're right. Let me pull it up.
I'm surprised you ain't pull it up and sit it up there. You're the king of trying to do some facts. Why you didn't just define this shit and put it up there like, oh, this is what it means real quick or whatnot like that.
You're right. Hold on. Let me pull it up real quick.
Oh, you can put it up. Be humble. What's your take on what he said? Why he putting it up?
first, I'm going to say I don't know who the guy's politics to call him out. I didn't really follow much about what's going on in New York. I just saw he was nominated, and I did see one thing that people were saying that was negative. I don't know if you guys saw this. All the candidates, when they asked them like one place they would go, they all said Israel, and he was the first one. Was like, I'm gonna stay right here in New York. I love the people here, but for some reason we have this a lot. Israel has a huge hold over our politics. Well, I don't know why, but it is what it is. But with that being said, before I could call him a socialist, I would say I think that term is used loosely now to demonize another candidate. There's certain terms we just use so people are turned off. They don't want to hear what he actually has to say as far as his policies. So it's basically like, the term we just use, a negative term towards somebody. So I don't know his actual policies. But like I said, when I looked it up, spaces, you in the ballpark, what socialist is. But I couldn't call him and say he's a socialist or he has socialist policies when you break it down, until I hear more what he actually believes and what he wants his policies to be.
Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, bet. This is the definition according to Google of socialism. Y'all can see that? Good?
Mm-hmm. Wait.
All right. Socialism is an economic and political system where the people collectively own or control the means of production rather than private individuals or corporations. It's characterized by social ownership, which can take various forms like public, community, or cooperative ownership. Socialism generally aims to create a more egalitarian society by reducing wealth, inequality, and promoting social welfare. Is that a definition that suffices for y'all?
We ain't got no choice. That's the actual definition. Yeah, it works.
Ma, is that something that works for you?
What?
The what I just read.
Oh, yeah, it works. Yeah, it works.
Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Shoot. I think there are people that believe in equality versus equity. Have y'all ever heard that conversation?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to pull this up real quick. So this right here, if you see on the right-hand side right now, it shows an animation of equality versus equity. And equity, you see, the taller person standing on the ground, being able to see the probably baseball game.
Yeah.
The middle, I don't say age, middle-sized person being able to see the game because they're on one little box to help them see the game. Whereas the shortest person can see the game because they're standing on two boxes.
Okay.
The idea behind that, what I gather, is the tallest person who doesn't have to do any work did all of the work, and the shortest person being able to benefit from it.
I wouldn't really say that's how I look at it. I look at that like tallest person, all of them did equal work. Taller person he was just born like that. He was just born tall. He was just born in that situation, did the same work as everybody else, but he already had a leg up in what everybody else did. So he propelled even further because he already had that. It's like the definition of born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Like we all start the race. Like, right? And I hate to use this thing, but black folks, we start in the back all the time anyway, because this is our skin. It's just, it is what it is. I'm not using it as an excuse. It's just, it is what it is, right? We can still run fast, and a lot of people do a lot of things, but you still already had the head start. So it's only so much I can do to catch up, and I'm still going to probably be behind you. So, and I understand that, oh, you still had that. If it's still not, if you're willing, I don't believe in forcing nobody. If you're willing to still, because I'm still going to be cool with the little bit I still gave you, here you go. This for you. I'm still going to be cool. I'm still up here. I can still see the game. It ain't bothering me not one bit just to throw a crate back here because I'm tall and already ready as it is, as I speak. You get what I'm saying? So that's the way I looked at that picture. It's like you're already born with a silver spoon in your mouth. This man really got it out the dirt. You just like, bro, I got extra, Here you go. I ain't even gonna trip on it. That shit wasn't doing nothing but sitting in the corner anyway. I'm not gonna use it. Here you go. Do your mic. You're gonna get your ass. Hey man, set up a GoFundMe for Space's goddamn computer. Man, where your Apple computer at?
That's what you need. I gotta get it fixed, man. I gotta get it fixed.
Okay.
Be humble. What you got on it? What you think based on that particular picture that I showed? Do you think?
Based on the picture, to me, I took it as the taller guy was willing to help out his fellow person to watch the game, and I guess what you were trying to with socialism, those at the top are willing to help those at the bottom to lift them up. I mean, in a sense, that's kind of what we do here. We don't call it that. We have social programs to help out those in need. So we do that here, even though we're not considered a socialist society. We still help out those that less fortunate, those who aren't as tall. There's programs there. There's programs there for them to try to help lift them up.
Yeah. Like I don't have no problem with it. Like you say, if you got it and you're willing, I don't just want nobody to force them like, you got to go do this. No, if they are willing to help, all right, that's just gonna be their karma. Whatever they got coming to them, gonna come to them. Because when they gonna probably need some help, ain't nobody gonna be willing to help them. So if long as you're willing, I don't believe in forcing. That's the thing I don't like.
And that's what you reached into the exact question that I was about to ask. What do you think about what it sounds like Zohran Mamdani? And now I'm sorry, Be Humble. I wish I put it into our chat so you can be a little bit more informed about how he's moving. But what do you think about it being forced upon you to say this is what you have to do as a multi-millionaire?
Well, if you ask everybody on this panel, we all forced to pay taxes. Will we go with if we didn't want to? If it was up to you to pay taxes, would you go without paying taxes? Of course. So in a sense, like I wouldn't pay taxes. Like if they gave me the choice, but you know what, you could pay. Continue to pay these taxes. We'll use these to help out the people at the bottom. But if they was asking me, hey, if you don't want to pay them, you don't got to. Come on, Space. If you was given that option, you think you would pay taxes? You would keep that money yourself. So in a sense, sometimes there's some things we're forced to do. At the end of the day, it's supposedly doing a good work, helping other people out who are less fortunate. I know what it was like to be there at one time in my life growing up, where I was stealing from the corner store to to have food to eat at night, stuff like that. So I know what it's like when you don't have much. So
I ain't gonna lie to you, Be Humble. That was a great ass analogy. Because I ain't gonna pay taxes, dude. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
I know you given the option, you would not. No, nobody would pay.
I'm not gonna lie to you, but that was the most perfect. Now you can end my podcast on that shit, because that shit was perfect as hell. Because they hit my ass up every goddamn year. Give me my goddamn money back, bro. For real. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Spaces. Just before you talk, just switch it back on and off, bro.
We're good now?
Yeah, we're good. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right, you're right. I'll switch it back and forth in between the time I talk. But you're right, Be Humble. It's like, yeah, absolutely. If we were given the option to not pay taxes. We absolutely not pay taxes. And I think about an example in particular where I was long time ago, I was working, and it was at this particular job, I got paid bi-weekly. And in 1 week, I worked roughly about 71 hours.
Uh-huh.
And in the next 2 weeks, I worked about 76 hours. Me not knowing how taxes work, I'm thinking I work 76 hours. I'm finna get more on this check. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Bro, what?
Nope.
What? No.
You know, my brother just did that same thing to me. That nigga, he called me the other day. I'm in the gym over the court. He's like, man, they took such and such taxes out my check. I say, bro, they do that shit to me every week.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying.
He said, you take your tax. I say, bro, that ain't shit. Like, the way I look at it, like, if they're not taking taxes like that out your check, that means you still in the poverty line. You need to work a little harder, or you need to go get you another job. And I don't mean that in no bad way. I don't mean that. I'm not trying to be like braggadocious or anything like that. To me, when you get more taxes taken out your check, that means you're making a lot more money.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Here's one thing I'll tell you guys. When I deployed to Iraq, so this happens with all military people. You get your money's tax free when you go to a war zone. So your check is tax free.
And
so for 6 months, I got that. I was tax free for 6 months.
I, as a taxpayer, stand with that. Like, you're putting on your life on the line to protect and, you know what I'm saying, to do what you need to do for our country. I'm okay with paying taxes for that. On the flip side, we may have to we will get into this next week. A lot of people out here manipulating.
Hey,
and Zohran Mamdani is talking about basically increasing the government's influences. Like, and I didn't have a clip prepared, but he's encouraging government-ran supermarkets, grocery stores. We already know how the government treats our food.
Hey, look here, like Jerry Day said, about when you was talking about the tax code or whatever like that, bruh. It's the game. Either you play it or you're gonna get played. I understand you want to still complain about it, but you better get in this game and play it with them while you're complaining. Don't sit on the sideline and just think you're gonna just complain and it's gonna be all right. You better play the game while you're sitting there complaining about them playing the game as well. It's loopholes. You better find them, stick to it. When they close it, go find another one. I'm really on the verge of when Jerry Day said it all the time. I get them more and more about it. The more and more you look in the finances, the more and more you look at the stock market, the more and more you look at just economics, period. Like, you have to play the game or it's going to play you. But I ain't say don't complain about the game as you playing it, but you play it with them, but you just complain about it too as well. I'm with them on that. Like, I'm gonna play the game right with you. I'm gonna go get these accounts. I'm gonna go move money here so I can not get taxed. I'm gonna do all the same thing they doing, but I'm gonna complain about it too. But I'm gonna do it with them.
You know, as long as you're contributing, that I don't have any issues with you having issues with how things are being ran. If you're voluntarily not contributing, like, I don't want to hear what you got to say. I don't want to hear what you got to say.
About paying taxes and stuff.
Generally, yeah, because it like Smokey said, you didn't put in on this, man. You didn't put in on this.
So you talking about if like you didn't vote, if you didn't participate in that and all that stuff, you shouldn't be complaining about nothing because you didn't even try to help.
That, and if you are living a life, specifically illegal immigrants living a life that's tax exempt,
okay,
you are living a life that's being provided for you, and you didn't have to work towards the life that you're living. You didn't have to work towards you literally went from wherever you were, came over here with your family of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Damn.
You know what? I want America to pay for my family to live here.
I get you. I rock.
I want to hear what you got to say.
I get you. I rock with you.
So I'm gonna say this, Spaces, though. So my first job when I retired from the Navy, I worked at a warehouse where we did shipping and receiving, and there was a bunch of illegals there. And, I had this one guy. I would just talk to him just to see, how that process happened. you know, how do you get over and stuff like that. So obviously, these companies are hiring him. So
Right.
I get it. Like you may be upset with him, but he's just a symptom of the bigger problem.
Ooh.
He's a symptom. Like we looking at just his person. This company is hired. This company hired him. The company hired him. It's just not like he came over here and just walked in and just started working and started taking money. This company went through the process of letting him fill out paperwork and let him work.
And
No one was illegal.
Yeah,
No one was illegal. That's the. Here's another story. I'll tell you this. This happened in the 90s. I met this girl when I used to live in California. She worked for Technicolor. Technicolor is the one they deal with the movies and stuff like that. She told me back then, this was back in the 90s, there were people that were working there for 20 plus years only getting minimum wage because they were illegal. These companies, they hire these people
because it saved them a lot of money.
Yeah.
It saved them a lot of money.
20 years getting nothing but minimum wage. So at the end of, like, yes, what they're doing, they're coming over illegally is wrong. But they're getting jobs. These companies are really the real problem. If there was no jobs here, they'd be like, man, what am I going to go over there for, man? I can't get no job. I mean,
shit, they ain't going to China. They ain't going over to China, to all them other places, because they got them jobs already. So I understand where they're coming from.
I was at Panera Bread, and I could overhear this guy talking to this immigrant. He was asking, do you got this information? He was doing like a job, and he was like, nope. He's like, well, we can help you get that and get this, so you can get hired. Like, so these companies, I get it. These people, yes. But if I'm not mistaken, some of them do pay taxes. But these companies are where the problem really lies at.
Switch your mic.
How much more time do you have?
Come on, give about 10, 15 more minutes.
God, okay, all right. I'm going to clip this, and we're going to clip this up and start it next week. I want to get into this next thing about what you guys' thoughts are about this, because I think everybody's coming at it from the wrong perspective.